Think about the last time you did something wrong. Not illegal, just wrong. You hurt someone. You took more than your share. You let people down and knew it. Now imagine there was no court, no police, no fine, no cell, just the people around you. And they all knew. For 300,000 years, that was the entire justice system. No buildings, no judges, no written law, just a group of people who depended on each other to survive, and a set of unspoken rules that everyone understood. And when someone broke those rules, what happened was not what you'd expect. It was quieter than a prison, more targeted than a beating, and according to neuroscience, more painful than either. Here is what most people get wrong about ancient humans. They assume that without laws, there was chaos. Without prisons, there was violence. That justice required institutions, courts, enforcers, written codes. The archaeological record says the opposite. Hunter-gatherer societies maintained remarkably stable social order for hundreds of thousands of years, not despite the absence of formal punishment, partly because of it. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm studied over 150 documented hunter-gatherer societies across every continent. His conclusion was direct. These groups had justice systems, sophisticated ones. They just ran on entirely different logic. The logic wasn't deterrence, it was signal. Every recorded hunter-gatherer society started the same way. Gossip. Not idle conversation, gossip as infrastructure. If someone in the group was taking more than their share, hoarding meat after a hunt, sleeping while others worked, treating weaker members badly, the group began talking, not to the person, about the person, in earshot. A comment dropped near the fire, a joke with a specific target, a story that everyone recognized, but no one named directly. The message was precise. We have noticed. We are watching. You have time to correct this. For most offenses in most groups, this was enough. The social discomfort of being the subject of camp conversation was sufficient to change behavior within days. Because here is what camp conversation actually meant in a group of 30 people. These were not acquaintances, these were the only humans you knew. The people who shared your food, protected your children, treated your injuries, decided your worth. Their opinion of you was not abstract. It was your survival. Being talked about, even indirectly, was a warning that your position in that survival network was shifting. Most people corrected immediately, but not everyone. For those who ignored the first signal, the group escalated. The Kungsan of the Kalahari have practiced something for generations that researchers call the ridicule song. When a member of the group behaves with consistent arrogance, claiming too much credit after a hunt, treating their contribution as more valuable than others, refusing to share, the group composes a song about that person, by name, and sings it at the next gathering. The entire camp joins in. It is not aggressive, it is not violent, it is rhythmic and public and specific. Every behavior named, every excess described, set to music, performed by the people whose opinion determined your place in the world. The Inuit of the Arctic had a parallel system called the song duel. Two people in dispute stood before the whole camp and traded verses of mockery, exposed secrets, named failures. The audience decided the outcome, not by vote but by reaction, who they laughed with, who they turned toward. The loser didn't lose an argument. They lost standing. And standing, in a world with no institutions, no savings, no backup, was the only thing between you and starvation. Now stop for a moment. Picture what that actually felt like. Not the embarrassment, not the public humiliation, the math of it. 30 people, all of them sources of food, protection, warmth, care, all of them watching, all of them participating in the structured public documentation of your worst behavior. And no way out. No other city to move to, no new job, new neighborhood, new identity. One group, one fire, one set of faces, forever. That was stage 2. For some people, even that wasn't enough. For the genuinely dangerous, those who killed without cause, who refused every correction, there was a final option. The group stopped acknowledging them entirely. No one spoke, no one shared food, no one made eye contact. Physically present, socially erased. A ghost among people who had decided they no longer existed. No blood, no cage, no guard. Just silence. And here is the part that took science 300,000 years to catch up to. In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA ran an experiment. She placed subjects inside an fMRI scanner and had them play a simple virtual game, tossing a ball between 3 players. After a few rounds, the other 2 players stopped. No conflict, just exclusion. The subjects reported feeling physically hurt, not upset, not embarrassed, hurt. When Eisenberger examined the brain scans, she found something that stopped the research team: the anterior cingulate cortex. The region that activates when you break a bone, burn your skin, or sustain physical injury was fully active. Not metaphorically, not as an analogy. The brain processed social exclusion and physical damage through the same neural pathway. Being ignored in measurable neurological terms is indistinguishable from being injured. Your ancestors did not need to understand neuroscience to understand this. They had 300,000 years of empirical evidence. Silence worked. So what ended it? Around 10,000 years ago, humans began farming. Villages became cities, groups of 30 became communities of thousands, and the entire system collapsed. Not because it was flawed, because it required something cities destroyed: the condition of being known. Gossip only works when the subject cares what you think. Ridicule only lands when the audience is your world. Ostracism only functions when there is no other group to absorb you. In a city of 10,000 strangers, you can be exiled from one corner and find another fire by nightfall. The social punishment system that had maintained order for 300,000 years became operationally useless in roughly 3 generations. So humans replaced it with something blunter: physical pain, confinement, walls. Not because these methods worked better. The evidence suggests they worked considerably worse, because they were the only tools that scaled. Prisons are not an improvement on what came before them. They are a replacement forced by size. The original system ran on psychology, on neurobiology, on the precise, devastating power of social withdrawal delivered by people whose opinion meant survival. Modern corrections runs on concrete and locks, and produces recidivism rates that would have been incomprehensible to a hunter-gatherer group where the system actually worked. Solitary confinement, the most severe punishment in modern incarceration, is not an innovation. It is ostracism rediscovered by people who had forgotten what ostracism actually was. It doesn't break people because it removes their freedom. It breaks people because it removes their social existence, the same way it broke people 300,000 years ago. Around a fire, in a group of 40. Where the worst thing that could happen to you wasn't a cage. It was everyone turning their back,